going to get fun, though. So I'd like to introduce, let me get my clicker over here, Mr. Stuart Schwartz. Welcome, Stuart.
Thank you.
Welcome to Accela, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Stuart's relatively new. How long have you been here?
I joined at the end of last year.
Yeah, so getting your legs underneath you, starting to make an impact. First conference with Accela.
It is.
And you're already on the big stage.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's scary.
And you've got a live software demo, too.
It gets scarier still, yeah.
Well, part of yours is live, part of it's video. So who has heard of augmented reality? It's going to be a small group. I mean, I actually had to dig into Wikipedia and figure this one out. You know, the product team says, we want to show this augmented reality at the conference. I'm like, hey, it sounds good, but let me figure this thing out. So tell us what the Wikipedia definition for augmented reality is.
Well, it's taking computer-generated information, computer-generated graphics and data, and then superimposing it, typically in your field of vision, so with other devices. So then you're able to see those in the real world. You're able to see that computer-generated info, but you're seeing it in the context of the real world. It's like your heads-up display that you were talking about in your car.
That's right, I got it. Except in the heads-up display, what I might be able to do is I can see through my windshield, and I could see street names, almost like you'd put everything, you know, visualize everything that's going around me in a three-dimensional view.
Exactly.
You know, one of the things that I think is interesting about Stuart is he works for Accela. He's had some private company experience, but also you worked in government.
I did.
Tell people about that.
I did. I spent a number of years. I had the privilege for working for one of the fastest growing counties in Colorado.
Are you going to advertise it?
Douglas County, Colorado. So it was where I was, and I managed GIS and software development while I was there.
So Stuart comes from a very geocentric background. He has a real passion for GIS and asset management. So let's get a bird's eye view about what augmented reality is going to look like.
All right. Well, let's talk about it from the perspective that we've got more maps available to us than we've ever had previously. So we've got maps in our cars. We talked about. We've got them on our computers. We also have them in our tablets. We've got them in our pockets. We carry them. But we still have issues how to accurately interpret maps. So you see people taking their tablet all the time, and they're spinning it, because I don't walk around, and many of us don't know where north is at all the time.
True. I get lost all the time because I don't know which way to go. I mean, my strategy is I'll put myself on the map, then I walk a direction and figure out where I'm at then. So
it's a fitness strategy.
Right. Yeah, the fitness strategy. Good one. Yeah. Right. So this is going to help change that, because it's going to help me create better awareness for where I am at and what's around me.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at a video. So we look at this intersection here, and you're able to see the roads, the streets, the intersection, the features. Maybe we even have the luxury of aerial imagery, but it really doesn't convey some of the complexity of this site. We're dealing with traffic. We've got a lot of infrastructure. There's a lot of infrastructure there that's not ours, right? But when I'm standing in the middle of the map and I'm overlaying GIS data and GIS points for those features of interest, in this case I've got some streetlights and I've got the asset ID that goes with it, I'm now able to instantly recognize where those are. So this is in work crew, and we're just seeing it through the camera feed.
Right. Just holding it up like this and panning around.
Exactly.
And I've got the little viewfinder up there at the top that shows me all those assets.
Yep, and here's another site. So as a field personnel, I'm going to have to service the street lights and sewer lines that might be there. So I've got the mobile map. I can see where those are. I'm able to quickly identify where they are.
I see the little dots, right?
Right, I got the dots, I got the lines, but it doesn't always convey everything. So we'll switch over to the augmented reality view. Well, I can clearly see that I've got that street light on the left, so that's 143. But on my map, I wasn't conveying that, hey, I've got obstructed views here. And that could be obstructed by vegetation, it could be obstructed by buildings. So I also have this now, the ability to see features that are above the ground, whether they're obstructed or not, and even potentially features that are below the ground.
So if there's manholes and other things that are covered up, you can know they're there just by panning and seeing exactly where they are.
Right, so I bring in these other features from GIS, and now I'm able to see, hey, I've got water lines, I've got sewer mains, I've got conduit that's there, and now I'm able to better plan my work and better understand it. I get this situational awareness. I get a contextual understanding of the data and the relationships of those data that I can't always model back in the office.
Sounds really smart, man.
It's pretty cool.
Sounds really smart.
So we can put this in the hands of citizens as well. And we start thinking it's not just asset management, but now they're able to make accurate calls for service because they're able to quickly see that this is the feature that they're interested in, or what's going to be there as they project, say, I'm going to see what this new development is going to look like. So when the new townhouse goes up and I'm able to go out into the field and then I pan and I see what this looks like, I'm able to provide instant feedback to that agency.
That is really awesome.
So I also want to show you what it looked like in the live
This
view.
is the live part.
Cross your fingers. All right. So this is just in a preview mode right now. But what you'll see is that I've pulled in point data and I've pulled in some line data. And I'm standing in the upper right. I've got this circle that's my vicinity map. Each one of those dots represents the feature. So I stand in the middle of the map, and as I rotate in any direction, if there were features beyond the walls of this conference center, you'd be able to see what those features are.
Well, one of the things I like about this is if you select, like the Accela Public Works street light, if you just select it, then it's going to show exactly where that is, right?
Yeah, so what we have now is that if you're going out there and you're doing condition assessments, and you want to quickly see, well, I've got my entire asset layer there, but then I select a condition assessment, I'm now able to see what are those assets that are associated with that condition assessment versus another condition assessment.
That is awesome.
So it creates a very immersive experience. I think that this is going to be really valuable when we start considering low light conditions, inclement weather, and different ways that we want to create a more immersive experience.
Right, and I see, this is obviously a work crew example, but we see other things in the future where we can walk into buildings and overlay plans on top of, big smile, got that in the works, where you can see the plans and how it's really supposed to look and what are the different functions. Like, oh, there's that light switch over there. That's the door opening. Give you a whole different view of what that building might look like.
Yeah, I think it really opens the door for how we look at things in 3 dimensions and how we create a much more intelligent experience and an interactive experience.
Well, I think one of the things that this is doing, and it kind of goes back to what we talked about with the glass, is what we really want to do is we really want to enhance the user experience for those mobile workers. So a lot of the tools and services that we're showing, they're going to be about mobility. It's about enabling and empowering people and giving them the tools to take their work from behind the desk and move it straight to the field. So that's really what the future of this is all about, right?
Yeah, I really think that it becomes a way to make better decisions faster for everybody.
That's great. Well, thank you, Stuart.
Great, thanks.
So 1 o'clock.
Tuesday.
So 1 o'clock on Tuesday.